Hey guys, happy Sunday. Gosh, what a beautiful day outside. It's like 70, 75 degrees out. You could not ask for a sunnier day. Not a cloud, well, over here in Sandy, not a cloud in the sky. Weather is gorgeous. Anyways, I'll try to keep it short. I wanted to share my experience at church this morning. I'll try to keep it short and sweet because I have to go soon to go meet a friend. Anyways, okay, so first of all, I just gotta tell you, I love this church for so many reasons, but I'll get into that. But it was just cool, like obviously it's Memorial Day weekend, right? And so we have our typical worship, and which is normal, like worship and our singing. And for those that are not like a non-denominational church, people probably think we're crazy because like our version of worship is a full-out concert. Like it's like a band, piano players, bass players, live singers, and there's some slower songs and there's some more upbeat, praise the Lord, thank you kind of songs, and it's just amazing. It's just so fun to get into, and I just love it. And so we just had a great worship session today. The band was on point, everything was great. I really felt the Spirit today though, and it wasn't just about the worship, it was just everything in a whole. I really felt the Spirit. I even cried a little bit, which lately I've been doing, but anyways. What I thought it was cool is, and I know a lot of churches are not necessarily trying to get political. They don't even say whether they lead this way or that way, and it really doesn't matter. But my church specifically is a God. They love God. They love this country. This country was founded by God, and that's the Constitution protects those rights. And so we had a nice tribute, a nice video that was played. We all stood, sung a song for our veterans, and the pastor got up there and he's like, how did he word it exactly? But he just said, I don't care where anybody in this room stands politically or how you feel, but this country was founded by God, and we are going to honor our veterans. We're going to stand and we're going to take a moment of silence and honor our heroes, who's protected this country. And there was just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I love that. So we did. Then the message from the pastor today was really, we're in a spiritual battle, and specifically 2020 itself was brought up. They talked about the businesses closing, the mask mandates, the forcing churches to shut down and stop us from gathering and assembling and worshiping our God because the government has said so. And my church specifically has fought back on that. But we are in a spiritual battle, and it was compared to 2020 was brought up because it was compared to, so the pastor that was up there today is a veteran. So it couldn't have been more fitting, and did serve time spending time out there in the war in Afghanistan. And they talked about the battle and the spiritual battle, especially what has occurred over in this country and over 2020 as being in the trenches. When you're in the trenches, here's a trench right here, right over on the right hand side, and you've got the enemy over here, or whoever that is. But when you're in the trenches, you can't see. You're in a trench. You're hiding in a trench, and there's disease, and there's rats coming in there, and that's where the term trench foot and stuff comes from. But you can't see beyond the trench, and then you in the middle have a battlefield, and then on the left hand side there's another trench with the opposing, in the war. And so both people, when they're in the trenches, you can't see out of it. But at some point, you have to come out of the trench, right, and fight the battle. Not literally fight in that term, because that's got a connotation. Politically, that's not what they meant. But fight back with your spiritual battle. And how do we do that? How do we get out of the trench? It's okay to be in the trench, and that's where we've been all over 2020. And I think a lot of us can relate to that. But how do we come out of the trench and get on the battlefield? And just get out of it. And really, it's bring your sword with you. Don't go into battle without your sword. And I thought that was really cool because the sword is the Bible. It's the scriptures. It's the word of God. Know them. Sorry, my phone's blowing up. Anyways, know them and know the word of God. And I personally, that hit me hard because I haven't really done that lately. Well, it's been a long time since I have, and I'm just kind of getting back, but I do. I need to spend more time reading the scriptures and getting into the Bible more, so I can be prepared and have my sword against the enemy when they try to attack. The story that was shared by the pastor, so when they were in Afghanistan, they had they called it I can't remember the name of it. It's the thinger doer, the thing, the SUV thing that the battle driver, whatever, the thing. And they were getting shot out all left and right by machine guns and from the enemy and stuff. And they were just under attack, man. There was 4 of them in there, and she was in the back. And there was a gigantic, and literally she felt like, as long as I have my sword, and as long as I have the right, I guess your sword or your right weapon against the enemy, which is in this case, the Bible, then no matter how much the enemy attacks, they're not going to succeed, because we have God on our side, and God's already claimed victory. He's already won this battle beforehand. He already knows. And she could just, as they were under attack, she was just like, in that moment, as scared as I was, I knew that I had my sword and nothing could happen to me. And she literally said a verse from, I think it was from Ephesians. I can't remember the actual verse. I wish I wrote that down. And she said that out loud. And it was the verse that she repeated was just talking about how no attacks from the enemy can hurt me with God on my side is what the verse in summarization. And right as she said that out loud, a gigantic IUD went through the left window and fell on the floor right in front of her foot. Completely, she could feel the wind and have the thump land. And it didn't hit her. And not only did it not hit her or anybody in that, it didn't explode. It was a dud, right? I don't think that's a coincidence. I was really touched by it, because it reminded me that when we're all discouraged and like when we feel like we're like not in control of our personal battles or attacks, which are attacks from the enemy, our mental health, our whatever, people forcing us to get vaccine, whatever personal struggles we all are going through, which we all have them. If you have your sword and you stand against the enemy, no matter what happens, you will be protected, even if it seems impossible. And so I just thought that was really cool. Another thing that really touched me was, as we were in closing prayer, towards the end of it, we invited people that have never accepted, the church did, ever accepted Christ in their heart, to come up to the front of the stage and pray, so that people can pray over them, and invite Christ into their heart. And after it was so touching. After she did the prayer, the closing prayer, she asked, "Is there somebody in the audience named such and such, a gal?" And people were looking around like, what? And she's like, "Come up to the front, please. If you're, I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but God, come up to the front, please." So she does, and she says, "I have a specific message for you from God." And she literally relayed, there's land. I don't know exactly what land, but there's an issue with land that you need to continue to protect. And she specifically named like a couple things, and that person just started bawling. And because whatever revelation that she had given related to her, and it was on the spot. She didn't know her from Adam or anything like that. Just knew the first name, asked her to come up. There's a message. And it just reminded me, after I saw that, I just watched that and I just broke down crying. I was just like so touched by it, because it really reminded me that sometimes seeds of doubt get planted in people's minds about, not that people don't believe in God, but sometimes there's seeds of doubt that get planted. And I literally just saw an act of God go down right in front of me. There was no way that could have been done. Wow. I don't know. It was just really an amazing service. And after that was all over and said and done, I went up to the front to talk to Pastor Becca. And that's what it was. Yeah, we were talking to her, and I was telling her about, we were talking a little bit about her message with 2020. And so we were talking about some like her experiences. And I'm like, yeah, we were working on this and this and that. And we've been trying to fight back. And she's like, I knew this was she's like, I knew in my heart that this was going to happen. God told me there was somebody I'm supposed to meet about these battles today. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, I don't know. It's just really cool. And so we have more than one pastor in my church. There's a handful of them. But we're all going to go to lunch next week. One of them's in California for a week. But we're all going to go to lunch when that person gets back from California. All 5 of the pastors. And we're going to sit down and work together and talk about, because they really want to work with me. I have different ways. So they're attacking it from one angle. I'm attacking it from a different angle legislatively. We have different contacts, different whatever. But we're all working on the same thing. And they really want to come together and work together and just get really active and just pull me in. And if we can combine groups and forces with a big church like that, we're just going to be more effective. But I can't, without going into like so much detail, making this video so long about that conversation, it just came together. And it's totally, I feel like it's totally God bringing us together. So I'm just honored that they would want to work with me. And I'm just honored that I can help. Their approach was, how can they help me? And my approach is, how can I help you? And when we were talking about what we both are doing and need, it just fit right together. I just can't explain it. So I just thought that was really cool. And I just wanted to share that with you guys. And I'll close it out with this. Happy Memorial Day weekend. This is not a holiday weekend. This is Memorial Day weekend. Thanks to all the veterans that do what they do for us. So I'm going to get out of here. I'm kind of running late. But I will text you guys later, and love you all, and thanks for all that you do. And I can't wait to see all the other great things that we're all as a group going to accomplish. Thanks, guys.